we kind of have three lives. I have my life, she has hers, we have a marriage. When it comes to matters of our marriage, then there's a consensus. When it comes to matters of our life, we are only advisors.
He doesn't stop me from doing anything. He tells me fly as high as you want to. I will never stop you. Do not on account of me not do anything you want to do.
One thing I figured out since we started dating is that 8 out of 10 times, my wife is right, I'm wrong.
What changed for you?
Understanding that there is a difference between contentment and being lazy and not just being wanting more.
The fact that somebody earns more today, even if it's the man that earns more today, life happens, and then the tables can turn, and then you have to be responsible, and then it always goes like that in every marriage.
And she always lied to me that she doesn't know how to cook. I tell people I like three things: good food, good sleep, and I like good sex.
Awesome.
Glasses, are you okay?
Yeah,
take it off. Okay.
It's so beautiful. And I feel like the fact that you've given yourself the permission to let all that masculine ego that society has placed on men go, and you let all your insights come out to say, look, I don't want to be all the last person I interviewed, he went through a heartbreak and he was talking about how is a hard. I'm a very logical man, I think, and we talked about being a lover. It was like, see, when it comes down, what I'm not a hard guy. And it's so beautiful how even almost 9 years later in your marriage, you're still that person.
Oh, I don't know how he does it.
You have trauma.
I can be looking like shit, and that's when he just goes, babe, I'm gonna go find Shakilo day. I'm on no sex way, and I'm like,
are you blind?
I know, ma. I ain't with the way I look. And see, the truth is, I'm sure you know, I have to give a lot of credit to the success of this marriage to this man. Because left to me, I mean, let's not talk about it too much.
I think that you play your part very beautifully. I think he is more of the everything being done. You, when you just come in,
She makes it happen.
She makes it happen. Like you are maybe the quality person, is maybe the quantity person, and it merges.
Yeah.
And comes together.
It comes together.
When you put it that way.
It comes together. Because I know you for a very long time, and I know that you don't do small things. You don't do this, instead of everybody doing like quantity here and there, you just want to gather your energy.
Put it together, and if you're going to just do it well, and then.
And you just want to be doing everything, and so it's a perfect blend. And I love it for you guys. But please let me finish giving him his flowers. Yeah, my friend, your flowers is. I'll give you your flowers. But because I know a lot of men, I think what society has taught men to do has rid them from being boys. And we are all still children internally.
Yeah.
The person who we can be fully children with.
Yeah.
And I think that's why I'll give you your flowers for constantly letting him be the boy he wants to be.
That's the point.
With you. Like, you are both so safe with each other.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You let your inner child come to play with each other, and I don't think it's anything money can buy.
No, at all.
Yeah, it's a flower. Take your flower.
So yeah, a man who is vulnerable is because has people that he knows will not judge him.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
I would not tell you that I didn't have those days where I felt that, but again, over time the trust comes down. Okay, the small one this person had, he didn't misuse it. Which is what she said that, as one of the we decide. I always tell people there is nobody that can marry me. I'm a very terrible human being.
Who, you or her?
Me. There's nobody that can marry me. She's the only one who can marry me.
Everyone has a very high standard, though.
Yes, that's the point. She knows when to make the standard high. She knows when to lower the standard.
Sure.
So I always tell people that there is nobody that can marry. There is no woman that can marry me. This is the only person that can marry me because I am not. I fluctuate. So there's time I am 10 or I'm 7. She's 3. There are times she's 9. I am 1.
Don't we all?
I think it's everyone.
Right. So there is just safe place. You know, I was telling his brother sometimes ago that we do things that they are crazy if you look at. There are things that society tells you not to do.
Oh yes.
And we always know that I said that I know there are investment decisions that are joint investment decisions that are in our name. There are joint investment decisions that are in my name, right? But we just trust that if things go south,
this person is not going to.
We can have like, okay, so how do we
Which
do
one
this?
do you want?
Do you understand? Right? There is that trust. And when you go for your cancer, write this way, write it that way. Yeah, I'm not invalidating those. But we've come to that point where, how bad, maybe if you hurt me, maybe, you didn't do it intentionally. Right.
Because
so
you guys are proven over and over to
over
yourself.
time.
Yes.
So you're like testing each other with smaller things,
And then it keeps getting
and it just
bigger
kind of
and
keep
bigger
getting
and
bigger
bigger and bigger.
and stuff like that. So one thing I always tell people that is money has never been an issue in our marriage.
Oh no, I don't think money can ever be an issue in our marriage.
Has never, right? And it's not because we are super rich, right? But
We're
I think
poor. We're very poor.
You are very poor.
We're poor people.
Money. If you have money,
If you have money, please give us. Like 1 billionaire, I know easy.
But there is, like you said, a lot of credit. So I always told people that there are a lot of things I didn't figure out until I got married. I didn't figure out a lot of things. But I got married. She became that, yardstick for a lot of things. Like, okay, about life. How come somebody is so young and she's so figured it out, and I'm 7 years older and I'm not figuring it out.
That's it.
And she has this clarity of thoughts.
You've always been.
No, when my wife, if she wants to be serious.
Oh yes, definitely.
If I want to be serious, why are you putting that cloth?
No. So when she wants to be serious, she has clarity. And I keep wondering, why can't I have this level of clarity? Right? So she's a yardstick for that. She's a yardstick. She's my stylist. I got better, by the way, over time. Right? I learned fast. Right? In those days where I wear striped shirt and striped tie.
I've been through a lot.
This is what they say. I invested in that man.
No, she's not. I said that.
And then again, it goes back to the fundamentals.
Yeah.
I had somebody who helped me see beyond these petty little things. On a normal day, you're not dressing well. I don't like the way he dresses. Multi-law.
Yeah,
That jagadaga like that.
He doesn't speak good English. I'm sorry. Where do you want me to begin?
There was a colleague that people thought we were going to be a thing. I wouldn't mention the very little thing that made me be like, nah. So here I am with somebody who grew up on the farm, like legit grew up on the farm, who is super smart but had small dreams. Who used to have he had one checkered shirt like that I really couldn't stand. Red with some blue. Who would wear some shoes and I'm like, guy.
Do you know who I am on the streets of Lagos?
It's not even just about who I am on the streets of Lagos, but come on now, don't be like this. But because I saw beyond all of those, and I was like, at the core of this person's being, this is my person.
Mm-hmm.
So all of these external things, aesthetics me, I'm gonna fix it.
And she spent a lot of money buying clothes.
But again, I am a giver.
You are.
I'm a giver.
You
I believe.
need to have money again.
I'm broke.
You need to have money again. I was enjoying it.
My daughter is a spender. The apple has not fallen far from the tree. Right? When I have money, a lot of people benefit from it. I buy random gifts for people.
But it's also like that.
He is more controlled. He's more cautious around it, right? Me.
Are you sure?
I'm very.
He is more me. I can. In
No,
fact,
no,
at
no,
some
let's
point,
save, no
I had to
money.
stop. I had to stop going to certain places with too much money because if I go with it,
I'm
I
like
will
that.
give everybody everything before I
Everything.
come back.
I'm
So
like
and then when I like you a lot, you're my husband. I used to go shopping almost every month. Not necessarily because I plan it, but because whenever it is I'm looking for what I want, I don't find it. So once I see anything I like, I pack. I literally am driving past a store. Oh, I like this dress. I pack. If it makes the price is reasonable, I buy it. So in the same manner, I'm shopping. I'm shopping from the UK. I'm shopping from the US. My husband, this thing looks nice, so I buy it. This thing looks good. I buy it. That thing was going to look good on you. I buy it. It's not because and that's the interesting thing. I didn't do it because I was trying to elevate him. I'd come to a point of acceptance that this is the kind of person I'm with. This is who he is. I'm not trying to change you, but I think this will look nice on you.
Yeah.
Right, I'm getting it for you. And he's very appreciative of gifts. Oh my God. If you give him a new t-shirt now, he can take this one off and wear it. Me, you buy me stuff, I'm like, nice, thank you. Then I keep it somewhere for the next 6 months. I may even forget that it's there.
Very rude. Very, very rude.
Which is why whenever I buy things for people and they don't wear it, I'm not bothered. I just want to see that excitement that you like it. Once I see that you like it, anytime you want to use it or anytime you want to wear it, you take your time with it. But yeah.
She's very rude when it comes to that one. No.
It used to hurt me. I had to start putting them on and using them.
Like, do you know how much?
I'm excited about this.
So it's not easy to satisfy my wife. It's a lot of work. It's a lot of work. It's a lot of work.
I mean, it comes with the high standard that
So exactly the point. So you have bothered yourself this way, you have bothered yourself that way, you eventually landed on something. Thank God for the women in my life who I have consulted.
There. 100 women to please one
woman. That is very difficult for anybody not to know that. So she's actually very, for you to get those things that, like I said, things that really get to her and things that she just say thank you for. They are two different things, and I know when we hit those 2 points.
Oh, when it gets me something I really like, the excitement I can't hide.
Things you like. They're not a lot of
No, not a lot of things. Not a lot of things. She's very picky, and
that's a good thing.
Yeah, but she knows what she wants. Again, going back to clarity, right? So she's very, kind of picky about stuff. So if I need to do something for my wife, I bring in all the knowledge that I have.
From the heavens and the earth.
You understand? So I sink it in, I role play and stuff. So you can imagine going through that length. Now get her this gift. And in 6 months, you don't even know where the gift is in there.
I feel so bad for you. I feel so bad, but I have a question. When you do all that, going into the heavens and the earth and consulting, how does that make you feel?
When I'm in the process of doing it, the process of doing it is actually really great, right? Because
I wanted to know.
It's actually, so the real stretch is because you are doing something that you want to touch the person that you love, right? So I'm not just doing it for anybody. So there is, I need to touch you in ways that nobody else does, right? So I give myself that, I don't do a lot of it, but if I am going to spend time to do it, I have to create time to do it. And the ones I have gotten very wrong, the bottom
like
the one we went out for breakfast.
Please, what's this?
Let me be the one to tell you. Thank you very much for that question. Thank you very, very much for that question. So, my husband comes home very excitedly one Friday night and goes, guys, get ready, we're going out for breakfast tomorrow morning. I'm like,
in his own
I told my daughter, and my daughter likes to go out, so we're all of what are we going to wear, blah, 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 blah. We picked out everything. And then I kept asking him, baby, where are we going to? He said it's a surprise. I'm like, that is your surprise, not going to be what I ordered versus what I got. Where is this place? We went past VI. I was like, we went into Lekki. I was like, restaurant inside Lekki. Okay. Apparently, he had seen the place on Instagram. He really, the aesthetics looked really
It's
nice.
always the aesthetic. Lagos and aesthetics.
By the time we got there, it was like what you saw on Instagram was like a colorized version of a black and white picture. So we saw the black and white photo when we got there. It was nothing to write home about. And when we got,
how are you feeling?
I just started
I
laughing.
was ashamed of myself.
But then I was like, this is where we are coming to.
Having a child actually blot it out in itself.
I was ashamed.
But they had this swing that she liked, so At some point, I said, you know what? Rather than, and then it was time to order. They were so disorganized. It was like they usually don't even have customers for breakfast, even though they had advertised breakfast on Instagram, because they were not well put together. I said, you know what? Let's go to Cactus, please. I beg you in the name of God.
Don't let this anger brew.
Let's leave this place. And then, we went to Cactus and, we had a good time. We saved the day. But, the experience, the minute we walked in, I just burst out laughing. I was like, is this your son?
So talking about that experience, again, for your question. So it was these, babes, I'm the only one who, do all of this.
Yeah, he had this bad habits. Yeah, especially when we're dating. So I don't know how I married you.
Oh, well, we are here 9 years after.
Did you just say I don't know how?
He had this bad habit. Babe, I'm coming to pick you up for lunch. And I'm all excited. Oh, lunch. And then he arrives. Okay, cool. Where are we going to? I don't know. You feel my heart break.
I feel it.
I was like, I don't understand. He said, I was hoping you'd suggest. I'm like, you should have just left me alone. And at the time, there was one Chinese restaurant, I'm like, let's see China. And then at that day, he now said, maybe we can go to White House. I was like, I don't understand. He's like, oh, no. He's just saying that he just wants us to, for him, he just wanted us to eat together. For me, I'm like, I left the office telling people my boyfriend is outside. They will now see us in White House.
Not just any office to begin with. Bougie ass office.
It wasn't even bougie ass at the time, but the people in it were bougie people. People in it were bougie people. So we used to live. Our marketing director used to take us clubbing. Wait, what? I think white what?
So, based on that,
we thank God for growth.
Based on that, I now did this.
So for the fact that he took the time to give
internet research, it was disaster. So I just decided to stay in my place. I will not do that again. But she's very good. I always tell people that every fine dining that I know in Lagos is my wife that would be there.
But sometimes it starts out not so great, but he ends very great. Case in point, my 30th birthday. I wasn't in a very good place mentally. I was just feeling like, oh my God, I'm 30, I'm feeling old. I was at a conflicted point in my career. I wasn't sure which direction I wanted to go. I was feeling tired, mentally drained in a lot of ways. A lot of things were happening at work. So apparently he was putting together a surprise, birthday thingy for me. So, on my birthday, he got, the gift and that thingy I told you about, the whole, with the eagle flying and everything, telling me to fly. And, it was cool. But then he kept insisting on wear this particular dress. Look like this, look like that. And I was just antagonizing. He tried to use my sisters. But because I wasn't exactly excited about the birthday, I didn't end up, looking the way he wanted me to look. And by the time we got to the restaurant, I realized, he had put together a surprise. I didn't know the people inside. And when I got in there, I saw the people inside. They were they were really good people. So I was excited. But there's just something about me. I was like, really unnecessary now.
As always.
But then as the night proceeded, as the night went along, as everybody started talking, it started to get better. Then apparently some guys had these salsa classes that used to happen at that place. So they came and wanted to do their salsa and were like, no, we want vibes for the birthday. And next thing they came and asked us to come and join them. And we joined them, and the next minute I found myself in the air being passed around. I'm like, oh, it's my birthday!
I love it for you.
So that for me was the highlight. So it didn't sometimes it doesn't start out great, even though it has good intentions.
I think it's always I think that it's the thoughts that matters, number one.
Yes.
Number two, I think that because of the genuineness of the thoughts and process that you put in, knowing that's not even what your mind knows to do, you're going out of your way
From
to
out of
do
my
it.
comfort zone.
Like the angels are guiding you.
Come
Like,
on,
you're not going
Adele.
to get it, but we'll make something
We'll-
sharp.
So you understand? Check out your balance.
But this girl, she's not really well like that. I feel like the angels are guiding
goodness.
your love.
Oh goodness.
God is interested in this, my
I
arrow
said-
He says that all the time. And God is very interested in this.
Ebun is not easy to
Very
please.
invested in this
But I also
union.
think she's very easy to please because she doesn't want a lot of things. But if you can if you can hold a conversation with Ebun and do work that she finds fulfillment in, and be good people, I really think you've passed.
You've passed, but you see those few things that you mentioned. So she's not
Fair.
demanding.
She's
Fair.
She's okay.
Fair analysis.
So when you come in, you have to come in.
So when
all
you
out.
come in, it's
Yeah.
like I don't do this all the time, which is why you see if I have to do. You know, we're talking about Valentine's. I thought we might eventually not do anything, right? But when you come
Correct.
correct, right? She's
Well,
not
fair.
the kind of person that will. Okay, like I said on Valentine's, on her last birthday was just what did we get? Cake and stuff like that.
Oh, they got me just breakfast.
Just
you know, I still
breakfast.
have not. I need to call Ulrike. I still not gone for that massage.
Just breakfast and this thing. So she's not the kind of person who you must bring down the world because it's my birthday and stuff like that. Do you? But also know that if you want to come correct. I think that's the most difficult part of managing her, which is it would have a shiver. Like you have to breathe. Like, what mood is she? Are we going spirituality? Are we going spiritual?
Emotionally, you
You
have
have
to
to-
bring out all the angels. All
No, really.
how many elders?
Because she's different person at different times,
Ebun actually
and
is.
that her need at all of those different times as different. There are times she's ranting, she doesn't want. It took me time to understand that. There are times she's ranting, she's just ranting to me. I'm not supposed to respond.
Yeah.
But there is this,
Oh, in the earlier days, he was always quick to advise.
Like, who asked for your advice?
Do you understand?
I'm not talking to you because I want you to tell. Don't advise me. Just listen.
I also
I
need
know
to
I've done wrong. Yes, but listen to me and just agree with me. Just say yes.
So that's my wife for you. She's different person, different circumstances, and what really triggers her at every point in time is different. So if you think, because she has eyes, there's times she has very low standards, by the way.
No, she's a very low standard person.
Right.
But when you want
So
to do
there
something
are times that these things that you think she's gonna hold so much, she just kind of understand that. See,
it's not that deep.
I know, I understand, and it goes. And there are times you just want her to cut you that slack. She's holding you to this standard, and like, oh Jesus Christ,
But the thing is, the way that she has held you to set a standard, it has elevated even you.
No, it has, honestly, because now, which is why it's very difficult for me to have a conversation without having a conversation about my wife. Because like I said, she's the yardstick for measuring a lot of things. So I cannot have a straight conversation without having, my wife in the conversation. Because she's the voice of reasoning. I can be very spontaneous, with my destiny. So it's almost until she tells me that it's okay, because before I actually understand that decision is okay, even though I feel that it was okay, but I've not had her challenging me.
Validation, or not necessarily validation. What do you call it?
Challenging.
Validation.
No,
Or
it's actually that
challenging
challenging, that thought that gets me back where I'm angry at that point in time. But I go back and like, okay, give me my son, she or Tony, or have you actually thought about that? So sometimes she asks me this question and I wing the questions. But I now go back and like, okay, right.
And to be fair, it's both ways.
No, there's ego in both men and female.
It's
So I now
both
go
ways.
back and I like, okay, think about it. So it's almost that validation. That's number one. Number two is that, okay, if it goes wrong, right, I didn't do it on my own. We are here together.
Yes.
Right? We can
So
know
even
that
though you didn't agree 100%,
we didn't agree 100%.
I
This
still
is
know
where
that, you know,
we are.
it's not going to be a case of I told you so.
So, and there is this long journey of, okay, my wife knows about it. So you are not lonely. I don't have friends.
Oh,
Yeah, I don't have friends.
Yeah.
So it's very
Which is
difficult
very
for
clingy.
me. Shut up. That's not the
I
user
guess
phrase.
there's
That's
there's
not the
there's a
conversation.
downside to not wanting a very spot loving husband.
I
Spot
do like
loving
that.
people have friends.
I don't
So-
like spot loving.
So I kind of check in virtually every. I remember, there was a day one of my friends called me. I was like, I've been trying to reach Ebun. I couldn't. She's not picking. I like, true. We've just spoken about 3 times today. The guy says like, she said, what's the time? Then I checked, 11 a.m. Said, did you sleep in the same house? I said, yes.
Who was that?
Sam.
I was going to say it's the one. He has to be the one. He has to be the one.
Yes. She said, what is that? I said, it was 11 a.m. He said, did you sleep in the house? I said, yes. You left the house this morning? He said, yeah. So you spoke to your wife between when you left the house and 11 a.m.
You live like maybe 8
3
o'clock,
times, and you said you've not spoken. So how many times do you speak in a day?
You guys have an amazing relationship. That's how they're like, there's no way you have to go and talk.
You're like, how many times in a day do you guys speak? Because at 11 a.m. for somebody you left the house together, you slept in the same house. Because normally when she's driving to work, we are talking. She closes from work.
Hello, babe. Oh, there's traffic. Oh.
So she's on call from our workplace in Ikeja all the way home. She's coming to meet me at home. We are coming.
Like we literally talk until the door.
That is the point. So is that like, okay? With the drive, Wally,
I'm downstairs.
kind
now,
of
okay.
conversation. So then you now wonder,
What are we talking about?
No, I but you guys have really been together, like outside of even marriage. You've been together over 10 years.
yes, over
So
10
this
years.
has been
Yes.
happening for over 10 years.
Yes.
Yes.
So what are we
So you're now asking yourself that we are coming to the same house. Then
Living
coming
together.
back home, there is still the gist that continues from there.
It's so beautiful.
So the guy are like, Oga, mo sọ pé mo rí èèyàn pé wọ́n sọ pé o pè lẹ́ẹ̀mẹ́ta kò tí pick ní 11 o'clock. I said that tó bá yẹ pé yẹn ni. I remember then when she was with you guys and I was in the US, she turns off the video and she's doing her work. And
I remember one of my colleagues used to tease me, "Look, this is your American boyfriend. He will not sleep at me."
because that time difference, I'm probably in my room when she's at work.
goodness.
So we turn on the video. So
Oh,
it's
goodness.
always been that,
And then he'll watch me
Conversation.
sleep every night because when I'm sleeping, he's probably still in the
I
afternoon.
tell me I'm still in the afternoon, maybe I'm back
So-
from class or something like that. So yeah, it's
Guys
just
love. I just said there's no love in this life.
no. Let's not lie. There's actually love.
There's
I
You love me?
too much.
Oh.
You are troublesome, but I can't.
I know I've been saying this thing now, just like when women love, it's a very common thing. But when a man is
No, I
in
love
love,
this one. Let's not lie.
we know. we know.
Let's not lie. Let's not lie. And again, it goes back to how has my life been since meeting you,
Yes.
right? I always tell her that when I kneel to pray, I thank God for my family first before I thank God for everything. Because I just believe that if this family wasn't going on well, I don't think my life would be on track.
Oh, there's some random thank yous he does.
Yeah.
Random. He just comes to hug me, and I'm like, okay. And then he goes, "I'm just so thankful for you. I bless God for you." I'm like, I can't share.
I'm not dying.
Initially, I'll
I'm
be
not
like,
dying, don't
I'll be
worry.
like, in the early days, I'll be like, "Shake Kosi, what's happened?" But now I've just learned to amen.
Yeah.
Amen.
So,
But yeah, these are the little things that actually get
anyone,
me.
so if I look at my life, I think marriage has been a very important, thing that set me on the right path. I always tell people that I didn't figure out life until about 4 years ago. I figured out life, in my view, during COVID, right? And it was we've been married, funnily, we've been married, but things were going But I figure out life, like, okay, I am going to create my own life. I'm not going to find my life.
Turning point.
Right. I'm going to figure out I'm going to create it.
I love it.
Because I think
What changed?
What changed? Interesting. So, like I said, I've always lived my life with a lot of fear, thinking it was contentment. I think that was the first thing I figured out during that period. Right. I read this book by Zig Ziglar, even though I don't like reading motivational books. There are two books that I read during COVID, Zig Ziglar and Compound Effect. Zig Ziglar was Born to Win. Right. And I think that was the first turning point. Then I'll come back home. So I go on a run in the morning. I come back home in the later, and I kind of sleep. And there was this day that I was having this personal conversation, and it was just like, okay, you've given excuses of why your life is where it is, and there was just too many reasons. Your parents were not rich, you didn't start life on time. My father changed my school like 1,000 times, just trying to figure his own way around it and stuff like that. But now you're in full control of your life. You can do whatever you choose to do. What are you going to do about your life? Because nobody controls my life again. And I think that was when I probably started designing my life. That okay. Then another question that came to me was, yeah, you think you are old, but if you were going to be in your element, how old do you think you could have been? I told myself, I want to be around 33, 35. I just discount some part of that period. And he told me, who's stopping you from being 33?
I love it.
Who's stopping you from being 33? So you're 33. Oh, yeah, start life.
I love it. I'm looking for it to old age thing. Absolutely. It's your mind.
So it's like I was telling you that you're not 33. Start your life. So let's start counting now that you're 33.
Again.
And again, just having this conversation, like, you don't even look your age.
You don't.
So if you tell people that you are 33 at that point, nobody's going to argue with you. So you're not going to show everybody your birth certificate. So let's start this life. What do you going to share?
Conversation.
Show disrespect.
So there was this concept in Born to Win. It's called the wheel of life. And the whole idea about it was the wheel, the bicycle wheel. And the idea is that the bicycle has different spokes. Right? And if one spoke is removed, it's no longer a wheel. It's not rolling the way it should, as it should be again. So what are your wheel of life? What is my wheel of life? And what are the spoke in the wheel of life? So I designed 4 things that were the spoke in my wheel of life: family, career, wellness, and money. Which I tell you that I like money now. I didn't like money before. I didn't like money before. Right. And I kind of designed those things. And the whole idea is
family, career, wellness, and money.
Right. I want to be healthy for this woman. We have to do it old. Right. So I told you I stopped a lot of, habits around this thing. And I was advising one of my colleagues in the office the other day, and I'm like, you need to find the reason why you are doing certain things. Right. I didn't just stop because I wanted to stop. I didn't just stop because my dad, had history of diabetes. That's it. My father believes that something will kill a man. So forget it. And I think I shared that part of it.
Sorry.
Right. And I have a friend who smokes. He doesn't smoke again now. But in those days, when we tell you, I said, see, my grandfather lived 90-something years and he smokes every day of his life. So it didn't kill him. Forget it. So but the point of realization was, there are a number of reasons why I chose those 4 things. But I just feel that, if I figure out my family, right, that's where I come to every day. So there were designs about my wife, about my family, about our children, and so on and so forth. Like, okay, this is what I'm going to do about it, and this is how I'm going to handle it about. So in those days, I remember will come, she feels very annoyed about it, but I'm telling her we are not doing I'm feeling that we are drifting apart. And honestly, I actually feel that we are drifting apart. I was telling a colleague 3 days ago, she was feeling the same way about her boyfriend. And, I was telling her that if you don't talk about it, you will keep drifting apart. If you talk about it, it comes into somebody's consciousness. And there is a work around it. So you are just thinking you are going to figure it out. And I told her the same story of, there are times I feel that we are drifting apart. Right? But because this is now a core part of my wheel of life, I am intentional about it. So I'll call her and say, I feel that. And she will say, nothing is wrong. I say, yes.
And the thing about Ebun is, if you say, nothing is wrong, really,
nothing is wrong.
Literally make you
understand?
Look, we need to get our
but
things
it's a
together.
soul thing. It's not what you see on the surface. It's soul. We are connected. So I feel that we are not in that space, either by my doing or your doing, but
Or
we are
just
not.
What's it called?
We in that space, right? And of course, money. I just figure that money can solve a lot of problems.
Yep, absolutely.
Right? And the kind of life I just want, like I said, she has bought me designer stuff. I want designer stuff. I don't want to ever wear it. And these things feel good. They feel good, right? And I remember when we were going to buy the other car, and I was like, let me just buy muscle. She was like,
I'm sorry. You've come so far.
I was like, kilo share, and driving that car, it feels different, right there. Life is good. So these are some of the things that I figured out at that point. But I think the biggest thing was, I figured that life out. I am now that person that, feel what's more there to do. The last time I was telling about something that was coming my way, and I was just asking myself, should I do it? At what point do I stop taking in more? And I went on the run the next morning, talking about individual life and family life. I went on the run the next morning, and I came back like, I'm going to do this thing. She was like, I didn't just want to put you on the spot. I think you should do it as well. She felt weird, but she wanted me to take my own decision. She could have said, you should do it for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 reasons. But it was my life. It was not has nothing to do with the family. So you can live your life. Right? And I came back and I told her, I said, you know what, I'm going to do this thing. I'm going to just put it in for it. And she was like, yeah. I was going to say it, but I didn't want to put it because, again, she knows she has that level of control. And again, that's another beautiful thing. She has control over me.
But she doesn't.
Let's not lie.
Manipulate her way through.
But she doesn't manipulate. So it's now okay for me to live my life in her hands. She doesn't misuse it. And it's not because she's sitting beside me. I'm that, aware of the fact that, okay, if you were in her shoes, how would you have advised her? So I designed that, and I think that's another phase of our marriage, which we'll talk about evolution, about some of the fundamentals that we discussed that started changing. Right? Jim Collins talk about preserving the core and stimulating progress, right? Where the core is the core. The core is that we love each other. The core is that love lives here. The progress is that every other thing can change, but the love that we have for each other, right? So we discussed the fundamentals. They gave us the framework, right? But a lot has changed. One of the things that have changed, I always tell people that my wife likes to travel a lot. I don't like it. And this is me that doesn't want to always let her leave my sight.
Oh, you copy.
So in those days, she would travel. You remember I said, I like food, I like sleep. She doesn't like to cook. Right? That has
to change.
That has to change.
I like the way that you said that you know her enough to have, you've given her the power that she could have easily manipulated you in doing things, but she didn't, and she trusted you, even though it took you a very long time to figure things out. And I wanted to ask you, what helped you have that power and not wield it?
I think first, nature. I'm naturally not a manipulative person. Again, it's goes back to the kind of household I was raised in. We were raised to work together because, I mean, we're a large family. There were 9 children. And then now add cousins and everybody on top, right? So our parents did not encourage us to work against each other. If one person does something wrong, the entire team takes a fall for it. And you either work together or everybody's going to get into trouble. So naturally, I'm not manipulative. Naturally, I'm not the kind of person who will force you to do what you don't want to do. I tell you my piece and then, I leave you alone to do whatever it is you want, right? But also, even though he didn't seem like he had a lot of drive that period, he made up for it in a lot of other ways. So it just made me feel like if this is the one of the very few things that is missing, I can live with it, right? He's not unemployed. He's not he's not irresponsible. Even in the little we had, he still, did at least most of the things he was supposed to do. Like he said earlier, this is what I have. You see me. He was very transparent. I didn't have to constantly second guess like, oh, is he doing something somewhere? Is he making some investment I'm not aware of? Is he keeping some money somewhere? We both knew what we both earned. We knew how much money was available and accessible to the family. Of this 10 naira I earn, I've given you 7 naira. I've given you 5 naira. Please, this is the maximum I can do. Don't stress me to go and bring 20 naira when you know I earn 10 naira. So because he was transparent with that part, it just naturally made me trust that, he was doing his best. And so while I constantly, kept prodding him and tapping him and, pushing him very gently and very subtly, I didn't feel like I needed to do a lot more. We were happy, and I was happy that we were happy. Again, what kind of atmosphere, what kind of environment do I want in my home? I don't want to be second guessing somebody. I don't want a situation where my husband is making a move and I'm thinking, is he being selfish right now? Is he doing this? Is he doing this to hurt me? Is he? I don't have that kind of energy, even in my natural friendships and relationships, which is why I'm very careful about people like all friends.
Yeah, you are.
Once you have a tendency to be not straightforward, I just move you aside. So if I'm doing that with my friendships, I didn't want that kind of thing in my own home. So for that reason, I just trusted that, it's going to work out. And then, there was also the God factor of, you've always taken care of me, so, Shelley, you get us there. Yeah. So, yeah.
And it's so beautiful to see how there's now a shift in him now being the one who drives things.
Me, I'm just chilling now.
Yeah, now
I'm just chilling at the moment.
What has that been like for you? Having to now fully trust.
So, yes. Yes! Yes! So when I took the decision to chill, the plan was not to chill for this long. The plan was to chill for like a year, right? So the plan was chill for a bit, jump back into work, in whichever shape or form or whatever it is. But things have taken their own turn. Life has happened. And we went from a household of, I save whatever it is I like. I spend my money anyhow I like. Sometimes I just wake up and I'm like, boy, maybe you are the one that is my husband. Oh yeah? I bought this, I don't tell him in advance. So I bought this, I bought that. Oh yeah, give me money. Give me my money back.
I say money is good.
And oh yeah, give me my money back. And then he's like, Or, before, I used to shop every month. Deborah's Grace finished my money.
We want that money back. Bastard.
So every month, by the time I'm done, I come home and then I show him. I'm like, look at all the things I got. Then he picks like two or three favorites, and then without asking, he pays and everything. Yeah. So coming from being an Oshozondi in my own right, my husband never used to borrow money from anybody. Hello, babe, I need 1 million naira. Okay. I was always liquid.
She was my plug.
I was always liquid. There was always somewhere I could quickly withdraw money from. Yeah. And moving from there into, I decided to take a break for a while, which meant I wasn't earning. And then, I had to be a bit more prudent with money. And I had to start asking for things I'd never asked for. This Owuobe concept, we never had Owuobe concepts in my house. I want to make food. I go to the market, I buy stuff, I ensure the freezer is stocked. Maybe Alpha, give me money now. I just bought some things. Okay, take. That was what it was. And then there were months where I never asked and it wasn't a problem. Suddenly, I had to start drawing up. You know, I said, we should have a budget, so we know how much we're spending on food in the house. I said, give me anything you want. Give me anything you have.
Pride.
She doesn't have money, so whatever it is that you have.
I know that time I still had money. Over time, you know, I was like, come, we are finishing this money. I then became semi-dependent, right? Coming from somebody who never asked. I don't think I ever officially asked for a dime before. Never. I will now need something. I will now be holding it together in my body like, I cannot ask. Then I now manage to ask sometimes out of sincerity. He just goes, what you need money for? Hey!
Like, who are you?
Who the hell are you? I know it's because I'm asking you for money. Why?
You know, I said it for like, who are you? Why are you questioning me?
But the poor boy was, or the poor man, sorry, you're still a boy.
I'm still a boy. It's okay. It's okay.
Was only asking to know to what extent, you know, I needed money for. So if you say you need to do this, then he will know, okay, this is how much you need. But my question, what I was expecting him to ask was, not kilo fe for she. Because that kilo fe for she was just, and then I never told him that thing used to irk me off. So rather than follow up, I just keep quiet. But transitioning from being able to take care of myself 100%, being able to buy whatever it was I wanted at any frigging time without having to explain to anybody, to being a dependent, to, okay, please, we need to stock up the house. Although at the end of every month, you know, some money comes in. But, you know, sometimes having to go, we need a little extra. Before I can ask for that extra, I'm still struggling with it, honestly. I don't ask for money for myself. Have I ever asked you for money for myself still? In
I know I get
in this, I don't think I've asked him for. He's giving me money to say, okay, take. But me now open my mouth and go and say, please, I need money. It's still hard. It's still very. I know. I need to allow myself be taken care of.
Some of us have actually learned the hard way.
I need to allow myself be taken care of. But I'm so used to taking care of myself and taking care of other people and giving and giving and giving that I've just realized that I don't know how to receive.
Yeah.
So I'm still learning how to be dependent. I'm still learning how to allow myself be taken care of. But again, the place of trust. In the earlier days in our marriage, it's okay if I say this?
Yes.
Okay.
We don't even know what it is. Just say yes.
We used to split bills. Yeah. If I'm not even in the earlier days, up until I took a break, we've always split bills. Not because it's just something that happened, and then, you know, we do everything together collectively. And then at the first time when I couldn't contribute to something, hey, I cried fire. I cried. And then at some point, another time, it's your husband now. I'm like, no, I'm irresponsible. How can you not? So it's been hard. I wouldn't lie about it. It's been really hard. But again, it's also teaching me to, you know, allow myself be taken care of sometimes. Recently, I told him to borrow me some money that I'm going to pay back in 5 years.
I didn't bother borrowing.
I'm still going to the next thing. Which on a normal day, and that's one thing. We always pay. We borrow money from each other on a normal, but we always pay back. There is no, my husband has given me this money. As long as the money could yam me. When I say give me, give me, he gives me. But when I say borrow me does not turn to give me. If I borrow XYZ amount, I borrow with the intention to pay it back. And it's not a paying back of, I'm going to be paying it over the next 10 years. I'm going to pay you in 2 months' time. This is the condition under which I'll pay. In 2 months' time, the money comes. Even if it's in 3 months' time, the money comes, I return it. I can now return it.
What'd you say?
And if she's going to collect it back
I can now return it. So I will now say I need this. He will now give me back. But at least, but I mean, it's not been easy on me, especially psychologically. But I'm learning. I'm still work in progress. I'm still work in progress. It's been hard. I won't even lie. I won't even mince words. It's been extremely hard. It's been very, very hard. Very hard.
I feel like it's hard because you're not allowing the season do what it needs to do.
I guess so.
Yeah, allow the season do what it needs to do.
I guess
so that you can enjoy what is to come. Because I think for me, when I went through this period, it was like when I finally decided to say, you know what, I'm just going to let this wind carry me to wherever it's going. It's now like maybe 2 weeks later, work now started to come. I'm like, I had all this time to rest and I was just worrying. So now
you didn't.
I was just worried, so I didn't really enjoy that season of rest. But now it's okay.
Yes, honestly, it's difficult
for a very long time.
I know.
She worked hard too.
For a very long time.
It's difficult to enjoy. I mean, in the first 6 months, I had fun. I had fun. Then the next 6 months, I had the learning plan. I had a plan what I wanted to do. I mapped out everything and asked him. I stayed true to it, 100%. Like pop. He comes home from work. And the fact that I'm even not in full-time employment now doesn't still mean that I don't do stuff. Yeah. It's just that the earning is not as much as it used to be, and when your mouth is already here, when you're used to earning 100 naira, and then suddenly you are earning 30 naira, you're like, Lily, and that 30 naira is probably somebody's 1,000 naira, but you're like, what is this? What's this?
I literally need to be telling her to learn to be grateful.
Yes.
Because you see, this phase is, in spite of this, I know how much she spent on gifts in December. I know how much, she kind of gives away. And I'm like, you worried? And you're still doing this much.
God will provide.
No, it's not like God is not even providing.
This is just like that too. That's why she's telling God to provide.
What else do you want? Right?
Yeah, because
probably
all your needs are being met.
Yeah.
Really.
Probably the only thing is, okay, you cannot do what you want to do.
And you don't know what's interesting? If I had that money, I may not do anything, no. I may not do anything different.
In December, my wife literally had food stuff in the back of the 2 cars, driving anywhere she just see and giving out. And I kind of know a lot of things and that she does and stuff like that. I'm like,
people were giving me money for Christmas. I was sharing it.
You are not hungry. If you are hungry, you won't share the money that they give you. So just to buttress, she's not just at that place where she needs to rest for the season to have its effect.
I think so too.
Right. So
but I'm learning to rest. I was telling her, I'm not sure I told you, I was telling her the last time we saw that January is the first month where I didn't cry at all. Straight. In a long time. I think in the last 1 year. When he comes back from work, he's constantly checking. Have you cried today? Because I'm like, what is going on? It's me, Ebun. Ebun doesn't hustle for anything. Ebun doesn't struggle to get things. I'm like, guy, you know how we roll now. Wow. So
make it make sense. I know what you mean, man.
What's going on? What's going on?
I know.
And sometimes I cry. Sometimes somebody says something that triggers me, and then I just lose it. Sometimes it might even be my daughter. My husband is always telling me something. He's like, "I'm not broke. Anywhere you want to go, let's go." But I cannot just let myself go out of the consciousness of we are a single income majority household from a double income combined household. So I can't spend. I don't know how to spend another person. I need to learn. I don't know how to spend somebody else's money anyhow.
And the person will not be telling you what you have to save out of. But you need to say, see, they are throwing the bullet. Just throw the bullet.
Like, let's throw the bullet.
I can only be held responsible for what I've said.
If you want to talk about it, just throw the bullet.
I don't know how to spend other people's money anyhow. I can be frivolous with my own money. But I'm not comfortable being frivolous with somebody else. And I need to learn. Because I didn't raise my husband.
Malen. Malen, Lekulen. This is like Lekulen.
But I need to give it
But
to
you
him.
know when he said we need money, we need to make money.
But I give it to him. He has stepped up like mad. Let me say that again, I didn't expect that this phase was going to last this long. But if I'd pictured it 2.5 years ago, I would not have expected the level of stepping up I've seen. He's invested more in work, he's taking up extra gigs. He legit doesn't have a weekend not because what he earns is not enough, but he's constantly trying to make up for
Your part.
my part, right? So he's working on weekends, he's taking engagements left, right, and center. But the good thing that this face has done is it's also helped him realize that he can make money through a lot of things that he gives away for free.
The people that will now have been doing things for free. I still do free, guys. Don't worry.
What the hell? You know what? Let me tell you something here. I can't blame women who bill their husbands, because if you are billing him steady, this is like I think this is for free. Oh, who says people bill on a steady? Oh boy, my car bill.
But he has stepped up and filled up. I remember year one when I can't remember what we wanted to pay for, and I was already calculating. Okay, I need to go make a withdrawal. I think one of the things that also saved me in this field, that also helped me in this phase, was I took a large chunk of money. I think half of the money I saved up at the time and converted it to USD. That has been my only saving grace. So whatever half it is I lost, in depreciation, that one has kind of, shocked it. But then we wanted to pay for something that we normally would have pulled money for. So I was like, oh yeah, let me make a withdrawal. And he didn't say anything. I was like, okay. Just as I was about to make my withdrawal, I just said, tum. I opened my phone. The full money. I said, baby.
A king and more.
You sent the whole thing. He's like, no, don't worry. And that's how it has been, don't worry.
We can be good when we want to be.
Let the man be.
Kojek, when the excess is me. Because tell, like he said, what I used to do is, I want to renovate this house. I don't like the way this house is feeling.
So this is an area.
You say,
let's guide it.
Me only need you 10 naira. Maybe 15 naira. I need. To need to marry 5 naira FCC. 10 naira to money lay. I will now go and spend 20 naira. And now come back and say, yeah, for me 3 naira. See 20 naira. No. But I mean, right now, I am. In fact, I think I'm even helping him be more prudent than even the owner of the money. But yeah, I mean, he stepped up in so many ways.
How does that make you feel?
And have I told you thank you before?
Or
thank you.
Stop, sorry.
my confusion is, I love it, and I'm like, I love it, I'm like,
yeah, that's with each of us
I think my question is, how have you felt having to be the primary sole provider for the first time in your marriage, I guess?
Yes, first time.
And how has it made you feel? How have you navigated it?
I think the point is, okay, I wanted to respond to your first question when you were asking her about, why didn't she wield the power. And I think also, both ways. The first is, we need to be vulnerable. And the only way to be vulnerable is to be sure of yourself. I think one of the points I hit for me to be vulnerable is, how bad can things get? I hit the point where I was sure, like she told you off camera, had a little bit of esteem issues to deal with. But over time, I was able to get out of that. And it was just like, okay, what's the worst thing that will happen? The worst thing that will happen is she will manipulate you and you will know this is good. But look at myself, okay, I'll find another wife. I'll start a life again. What's the way? Yeah, we learn from it. So even though that, I wanted to keep this together, I wanted the marriage the way I wanted it. And I knew that I had to let go that part of it for me to see if I had the kind of marriage that I wanted. So kudos to her. She didn't build it. That's why it's very easy to have conversations. So conversation around money, around offers and stuff like that. we're having the conversation, and it's not pushing you to like, okay, she's pushing me because of what she's gonna get. She's not even gonna ask in the first place, right? So whatever I'm telling you is for yourself. Yeah. So and we have had very interesting conversation, and out of babe is enough, and she's saying no, you deserve more, and we lost the offers. Yes, right, and we lost the offers. But again, you have to go back to the fundamentals, and like yes, she wasn't doing this. She doesn't ask me for money. She's so proud, and I like the fact that I'm proud to have so money.
We should be so happy.
So she's not like, it's not like, oh, we need to have this so much money so that I can live this kind of life. So you are very clear on the intentions. So it's not that my wife made me lose it. I lost it. Because she's just advising me. If I have signed the contract, she's not going to beat me that I have signed the contract, right? Okay. So I think I wanted to make it. So first is you are sure of yourself and you are comfortable in your own skin. So there was a time in our marriage that she was earning more than I do. She didn't say that part of it. She was earning like times 3 of my salary. Right? And a lot of friends have asked me, how did I cope with that period? And I tell them it's 2 things. Number 1, I am very sure of myself. Very sure. Number 2 is the fact that we have had the conversation. Madam, don't push me. You were not unaware of what I earn before we got into this. So it's not time for you to be asking me for questions that you are not asking me for. We are on different trajectory of life. So I think that has helped us. Like I said, we just live our life. We know the common thing that we have is the marriage, but we lived our life. So whatever we were putting together, we were splitting bills. I was doing what I was supposed to do. She was doing what I was supposed to do. The world is happy after that. And she will shop and I will not give her money back. She also did not say that one. Because those things are too expensive. I cannot afford them. Those are too expensive. I cannot afford them. Right? So I don't push my luck. Right? So how did I feel about the whole thing? I think again, we did not agree. That she was supposed to take time off.
Oh yeah.
Again, we did not agree.
Oh yeah.
But I told myself the night I agreed, and it wasn't, one of my bosses was a malicious obedience. So it was a malicious obedience. And she told me, we had this nice conversation in the evening in the sitting room that day. And she told me, do you really care about how happy I am? And happiness has been the backdrop of this. Are you happy? Right? And I think that was the night I kind of gave up, on it. So naturally, having to bear all this is annoying initially. So, I look at it, you could have been earning more, you could have been doing more with all of these, imagine, if we had put the force together now, and she was still in her heydays, and we had put.
And you are now in your heydays.
Sure, you understand? Yeah. It would have been. So are there times where, and we just have to tell ourselves the truth about it. At that time where you look at it like, this girl fuck up. Yeah, there are times, and like I said, in the early part, there was that point, part of it. But I think the turning point, so before I even got to the turning point, there was a house that we wanted. And you remember we were jogging together that morning. And, we had this conversation like, if things were really, how much is this money? That if it were the time when we were combining, bills, we would have paid conveniently. But I always told her, I said, we are not broke. We are not just frivolous. There are 2 different things. We are not just frivolous. We can't just be frivolous. Because we have to think constantly like, okay, when we were 2, one can go, one will still be there. But this one, we all just have 1. So we cannot be frivolous with this one. So we're not broke. So, yeah, there was that point. But I think, looking back, it was almost like, if this had been me, what would she have done? And without anybody convincing me, I know the woman that I married, that she would have done this the same way I have done it, or I'm doing it without complaining. How did I know? Ego. I remember in those days when things were, when I was still earning a lot lesser and she was earning more, and we're doing things, then we'll be driving and I'll be complaining. She knows when I don't have money. I'm just
Mama Conrad.
I think they're all the same.
So in different Google, she'll say, do you want me to pitch in? I'm like, she's pitching Kenny. And I just like, don't worry, I got it. I wish I were collecting money. So again, every man has ego, right? Let's not lie, we just kind of probably control it differently, right? So I remember those days. I remember, things happening random. Like I said, we are very accountable to each other when it comes to fund. You borrow money, you return money, right? But we never had. I think one issue we never had in this marriage is money matter. God has been faithful. We have both been responsible. If I borrow you money, the only thing is not good. Well, she collects interest from me, but we are not.
That is not surprising to me.
I still charge lesser than the bank.
Well, whatever, but at least I still pay interest. Right. So God has been very faithful when it comes to money matter. Money has never been an issue in this marriage, and I always tell people that it's because we spoke extensively about it. So how did I feel? I feel that I'm playing my part. I feel that this is that time where you can no longer fly with one wing. You have to fly with it too.
True.
Right? And if that is where she is currently, then I need to spread my wings so that she can fly, so that she don't have to worry about things. Of course, there are a lot of things she wants to do and stuff like that, but like, can we focus on the essentials? Food, clothing, shelter. The little human being that we both brought to this world, who never cared about our ambition and stuff like that, right? We have a responsibility to her, right? And I think it's been joyful, being able to be there, because sometimes I ask myself, what if, things were still the way they were? And she would tell me, well, I wouldn't have been so stupid to take that decision. Right? So sometimes I ask myself that, what if things were still the way they were? What if, there was no extra capacity? And, like you rightly said, it's a season. It also helped me find myself, right? I'm almost split in like different directions. After that, I said, babe, switching is so difficult. So I have the weekends working on gigs, on consulting for people, training, and a number of other things like that. And it's just been, again, God has been faithful.
Yeah.
Because it wasn't like I wasn't the same human being 2 years ago. Maybe I wasn't just paying attention. Like Shirley said, I always tell people that people pay me for what I like doing. So I just like seeing problems, troubles, and and let's you can do it like this now. You can, okay, don't worry, I'll send you something very soon, and boom, and it just go. But now I'm like, how much time do you want? 2 hours, 3 hours? Do you want a deck? I did something for some people about 2 weeks ago. They said I said no, I will not say. I come and present it, but I'm not sending it to you. Before I would have sent it, and stuff like that. So yeah, I think
all in all, God has been faithful.
Yeah, God has been faithful.
At some point he told us to relax.
Let me tell you that story.
He told us to relax.
So
and December, I was not relaxed. I couldn't relax.
December, I think it was December last year. December 2023. No, that was 2023 that we got the message. So we were in church. And there was this statement, from the altar. And the person said, God said, I should tell you that I will take care of you. Interestingly, we both picked the message. So when we got into the car, we related that. Did you hear that? In our minds, we're not sitting together. She was at the choir that I'm, a regular member of the church. I had my seat. Then in December 2024, we had a program in church, and I was in church, and Bukala Beckett, right?
Yeah.
Came and she sang this Olorun Agbaye o. But the point that was, you are the
You have a track record.
you have
of
a
keeping
track
your
record
word.
of keeping your word. You are not about to stop doing it now. And the thing came to me.
Did I
I
not
told
tell
you, did I not tell you that I will take care of you? Did I tell you how I will take care of you?
Not.
I didn't tell you. So you guys had expectation about how you want me to take care of you.
His ways are not our
But
ways.
no, I didn't tell you how. But did I take care of you? I just broke down and I started crying. Because we had expectations. We had a meaning in our head of how we wanted God to take care of us. But no, He didn't take care of us the way we wanted Him to take care of us. But He did take care of us. My love, He did take care of us. Exceedingly and abundantly. That's why He said, if you look at how much, in terms of giveaway, I don't do giveaways. Honestly. And I always tell people that that's my nature. I'm very structured with finance. I'm very given to saving. So when she tells you that I ask Kilebe for Woshi, it's because if you can wait till next month, let's budget for it. Yeah. I don't like breaking my savings. So I don't do giveaways. But I always believe that a charity mind covers the family. Because again, it's a balance. Yeah. It's a balance, right? My wife does the randomness of things to people. And she's doing all of this things, and she comes up with this heavy burden, and she's going out, she tells you about what she saw on the road, and she's like,
who sent you?
Make it make sense. But that's her. And I always believe that that covers it. But I think that was another point that we hit in December, and I told myself, like, God didn't tell us how He's going to take care of us. He just said, because I was going to the church, I was like, oh, December 20, this prophecy did not come to pass. And I think He heard it. And I'm like, did I take care of you? Oh, yes, He did take care of us. Because
did you have to borrow? Did you have to beg?
We didn't borrow. Since all of this, we have not borrowed a kobo. We have not, if we ever borrow, it's out of the fact that I don't. This one that she says she wants to borrow money now. It's not because she doesn't have money. So it's not out of there's nothing. We've done well within that period. So it's been, I won't say it feels good, but I just feel it feels reassuring that God is in this. Right? We have our moments, we have our doubts, right? A lot of the doubts, but God is in this. There is love in this. There is trust in this. There is trust that I know. Remember when we started, I said 8 out of 10 times she's right, I'm wrong. So if that's not the fact that I did not agree with this, I have never said it. I have never thought about it that she's wrong. They are just ideological differences, which is not right nor wrong. We would have just approached the situation differently. I have always believed, move from a job to a job. That's it. Anybody that comes to me for a piece of advice, no matter how stressed you are in your life or in your job, I will never tell you to take a break. I will tell you, hang in there, move from a job to a job. But I have also seen people who have taken breaks. Okay, now this is it. I've also seen people who have taken breaks, but I don't feel convinced enough to say, oh, I've seen Tokpe do this, I've seen my wife do it. I will not advise anybody to do it. Not because of anything. I don't just believe in being idle, not doing anything. And there's a principle about motion, right? It's a flywheel. You look at the flywheel, so it's difficult. The flywheel concept, it's difficult when it starts, but when it gets to motion, nothing stops it, right? But if you quit, all right, you start the motion all over again, and that is for me. So get on the flywheel. While you're getting on the flywheel, there are times we have conversations. I say, you see, there is a deliberate strategy and there is emergent strategy. Right, what we want to do most of the time is that we want to follow the deliberate strategy. It doesn't work most of the time that way. because deliberate strategy is not even right in itself, right? But you need to follow the emergent one, in which case you keep refining again, preserving the core, stimulating progress, changing, looking out. That was the conversation we had, which I don't agree with. But it doesn't mean that she's wrong. I've seen I can tell you 1,001 times where logically I think, she was wrong. And eventually figured out that she was right. In my own personal life, I come and I didn't. And she says it's somehow. And like I said, we don't have to agree with each other. But I go back and I put it in. But I'm like, okay, she was actually right.
But like he said, God has taken care of us. And he had to drop that word to help us to self-reflect and realize that, in fact, he reminds me on days when, I'm feeling really downcast and everything, like, it just seems like nothing is working, nothing is coming together. And then he reminds me, do you know how much money you have given people this month? Do you know how much food you have given people in this month?
It's always in
Do we have enough food in the house? Are we hungry?
We are not eating what we have. We are eating what we want.
And yet you're still able to give and give and give. Can you just be grateful? And I'm like,
your ego doesn't want to say it. Like,
oh God, I'm still crying ugly tears. I'm like, okay, I've heard you.
Oh,
yeah.
This has been so beautiful. This has been so beautiful. I'm having so much fun. I think the last thing, which is not everything, is what's the one thing you would love to say to each other?
What would you like to say to me?
Both of you actually are the same word.
Yeah, say.
I don't have anything.
On behalf of us.
What am I saying to you that I haven't said before?
You know you are very annoying.
You say it all the time.
But I love you so much.
I know.
You know?
Yeah.
Okay. So, you guys should help me tell her that I love her so much. Since they don't know.
I know I don't say thank you enough.
Allah, Sheo. My God will bless you for bringing us to this podcast.
I know I don't say thank you enough. I try to show it in a lot of ways.
Yeah.
Not in your own preferred way. But
well, Tokma has changed your mind about things. At least I know who to call now.
No, but I mean, I don't say thank you enough. So I think I just want to say thank you for holding us down, for keeping us grounded, for being as invested in making this work, for being an amazing daddy too. In Yolua.
Heart is beating fast.
Thank you.
Hey God, wait, hey.
I said rats will eat our clothes.
People trying to guys, oh my God.
Goodness.
When I thought about you guys,
Oh Lord.
like I have to bring Sesan and Ebun to the podcast because you guys have such an amazing love relationship. Especially like, people always say like, oh, it's just maybe the early days or maybe before you get married. When you get married, get used to it. Like it doesn't become any better or something. But you guys have held it to be so true. And my heart is glad. My heart is glad not just
Thank you for having us.
Yeah, sure.
Thank you for forcing us to come.
I mean, if you guys are not going to share it with the world, because everybody keeps saying bad marriages and all of that, we need to share the good ones because people don't really talk about the good ones. Well, maybe they do, but the bad ones overshadow the good ones. So in this little way, with this little labor of love of mine, thank you. Thank you for your love. Thank you for constantly being intentional. Off camera, you said something about productive paranoia. And that's something that constantly drives you regarding the fact that anything can go wrong. So it would not be because you were not intentional with your marriage. And that is beautiful. Well done. And I think kudos to you for choosing the good crop. For choosing the good. Income is what is about to go. That means you're close.
Oh goodness.
Really had a good time.
Same here.
Yeah,
I try.
we enjoyed ourselves.
I try.
Well, I think
You kiss again.
I think for the first time we probably,
This is the first time we're actually talking about our marriage together,
Yeah.
openly like this.
yeah, in a more like, yeah, so it feels good to,
We never do.
no, we
Yeah,
don't.
you guys never do.
No, this is the first time
We
actually.
never do.
We,
But I think that anyone that comes close to you individually, like within the first couple of hours, you can sense that this person is in a good marriage, because you are so at peace, safe, and subconsciously it oozes that energy of
yeah.
I love who I'm with, and I can't wait to talk about them at every point I get.
This
Yeah.
one is
AKA at every point I get.
like
Yeah.
sometimes I feel like sometimes he even overdoes it, yeah, especially people who have never met me. So people are literally
And
looking
looking
forward
forward.
to, and then it sets this expectation, because then I have to get there and behave like a normal person that I normally am not. So I get there and then I'm trying to be well put together and I'm like, tomorrow, let's leave this place on time so that their opinion of me does not change.
Like, you're a solid human being. It's just like where you want to be stubborn. But yeah,
No, when I'm stubborn, I don't think there's anything that can stop that stubbornness.
I told when I was interviewed for my job, I said they are getting 2 for a price of 1.
Ooh, oh, that is so
Yes,
true.
I told them.
Because Ebun's A game in.
Sure, you understand?
Ooh,
So
good.
like I said, see, the thing is, you guys give me the job because it's 2 that are getting for the price of 1.
Honest.
I think that's another thing that drew us close early. The fact that we could bounce ideas off each other at work.
Yeah, I love
And
it.
that's one thing that endeared his colleagues to me in that his former place of work. There's one nonsense girl like that wanted to, she said he should tell me that I'm just nurturing him for her. That when she's ready, she's coming to
They are
contact.
taking me to the UK now. You're not allowed to take me to the UK.
Yeah, Jeff. Yeah, you guys.
Well,
Thank you.
yeah.
Thank you so much.
We love you more.
Good time.